Hello again, traders. Right, it's Saturday, the 23rd of November 2024, and I have just got back to my charts, and I thought I would have a quick look at what BTC is doing. My uh, rainy, horrible day in the UK winter, and not long now till I'm on sunny beaches in the warm and having hopefully the time of my life. Anyway, that's why I haven't made many videos recently, and apologies for that, but I promise you things will change drastically when I get abroad. Um, I'm addicted to charts, as you know, and consequently, there will still be an enormous amount of sharing chart study. So, as I said, we're looking at BTC, and the reason for this video, what inspired me to make it was I'm doing a analysis for myself, and I might just as well share the information for you guys. So, and also, this is a never-ending learning of these, and it isn't more complicated, guys. It just gets easier, and that is the point again of this video, because you can see a 3CR is forming here. Yeah, in fact, it formed, it closed. That's why we've got the blue line. But prior to even starting this video and setting everything up, I could see that we'd got an uptrend in place. Low, high, high, low, high, high. And it's continuing. And then we get the 3CR. It's hit a resistance level here, or if you want supply. And I like to use supply more than resistance, supply and demand more than resistance and support, because they envisage in my mind's eye actual traders. Support and resistance don't really mean a lot. They're like levels, zones, whatever you want to call it. But supply and demand, we've got sellers here. Demand, we've got buyers here. And as I always say, if you get a 3CR, you're highly likely to get a pullback. And where will it pull back to? It will try and test the level of resistance broken by the most recent candle. Now, because this has broken this level and not just closed above this level, it is less likely, in my opinion, to come all the way back down to the 3CR level. Just an observation I've made. And I need to do or work out a way with some clever coders how to do statistical analysis of various patterns and various things I notice, so that we can actually have some black and white, if you like, written down info on why price does what it does and how often and so on and so forth. Sort of like the holy grail of trading. And I consider now what I do for me to be my holy grail of trading, because I've got such a benchmark now. I've said this many, many times, of the 3CR, then the RSI histo multi-time frame momentum analysis, which led to this being formed, and then adding the TMA, which is just a slope. And such as it is, the Bollinger Bands tend to be a replication of the slope. But these Bollinger Bands, they're faster now because I understand them better. I've set them to 15, 15, 5 minute, 1 minute. Obviously, UJ's doing nothing because it's a weekend, it's a Saturday. um, apologies for that. Coughing. Excuse me. So we're looking at BTC. Where is BTC? BTC. And as it stands, because this is 15 minute, 5 minute, 1 minute, it's absolutely horrid. And what I like is, when this confirms to be good, the 3CR and all the momentum are almost always correct. It's unbelievable. And I've got many followers now chipping in with what their observations are. And actually, I've said this years and years ago when I started YouTube about 8 years ago. 14, no, not 14, 8, 12, roughly 11 or 12 years into my trading uh, career, as it were. The first 4 or 5 years were actually learning to become profitable. Once I'd done that, I just kept my head down on my own, and just traded and made an income to pay the bills and everything, and kept improving that. And then it got to a point where that wasn't enough. I wanted to well, COVID happened actually as well, but 8 years ago I stumbled across something on social media, like you do, little rabbit holes, and I couldn't believe the change in. By the way, this is a 2B reversal happening here in front of our eyes. I couldn't believe the change in scamology, if you like, the actual cesspit that trading had become. And I thought, well, if I can just change one person's life by sharing my ideas and thoughts and my experiences on YouTube, then that makes it all worthwhile. Been doing it for free for over 8 years now, guys. And actually, with the advent of Twitter and all the other Reddits and various other stuff that are not forum based, they're not policed in any way at all, YouTube included. They are worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. 1,000 times worse than it was 8 years ago, and 8 years ago was 1,000 times worse than it was when I started. Forums are policed, the internet and all the social media are not. Anyone can claim they're making a fortune. They can lie any which way but loose. In fact, all these social media platforms encourage it. And it is the Wild West of the internet, even more so, for every industry actually. So anyway, apologies. I was filling in time watching what this was doing, but we can clearly see we've got the 2B. Here's Vic Sperandio. Thank you, Vic Sperandio. Ever grateful. Here's his. I mean, he's never commented, but I may well have got all of his stuff wrong. But here's how I interpreted it. This is swing one. This is swing two. That's the break through the low of swing one. This is what he calls his poke or trigger bar. Never can remember what it is. I would think that's the poke and that's the trigger. I don't know. Anyway, I always fluff that one. Doesn't matter really, does it? As long as you've got the bars right and the levels right. So this is where I would consider trading this. Vic says trade the break. I think go and look his rules up. Make your own rules. As long as you understand 1, 2, 3, then you can do what you like really. He talks about consequent bars or bars after the initial bar. That would make this one the bar. That would make that level the trading level, because that's the high of the subsequent bar breaking through this low. And as such, this, as you can see, it's unbelievable how this works. It's almost used that level, the high of that red bar there, probably fuzzy for you, as a level to springboard off. Then, as I said, using the 3CR, we're liable to get a pullback of sorts, and we get a continuation. So on the higher time frame, say this was because you could not tell the difference between this 5-minute chart and a weekly chart. On a weekly chart, this would be possibly 2 or 3 weeks worth of reversal here. On a daily chart, it might be 1 or 2 days of a reversal, or one and then take off. But on a M5, M1, we can trade it, according to the time frame we're on. Anyway, this still hasn't changed, which I find absolutely unbelievably fascinating, and I learn from it all the time. This is all wrong for BTC as well. So, apart from the fact that we have, again, I'm analysing on the fly, we have divergence, which is why I was thinking long this, and it's moved in my direction, even though all the other indicators I use, and don't start shouting lagging at the video, all the other indicators I use are not giving me a trigger, and that's why I can find trades all over the place, because I do not overlook the 20 years of learning this stuff just because I've got a load of indicators on my charts, and nor should you. But I can guarantee you, when this pushes up far enough and creates maybe an M15 3CR, I'm not going to switch the time frames because you should know what I mean, and if not, go and look at some other videos. But this may well pop down like this at some stage and then continue up and hit VIX main target. And because I've got this SS support and resistance on here, I'm a I keep forgetting to mention this, but I am an trade entry specialist. I try to keep the stops as low as possible. I admit now, because I'm so in tune with what I do, that I don't always wait until the M1, and I do suffer a bit of drawdown and so on and so forth. But if you know what you're looking at is correct on M15, M30, or even H1, then depending on your risk, of course, depending on the amount of money that's including the risk, amount of money you're risking. Sometimes I put pennies on trades to learn more from them. I did one last night actually. I took about 16 pips out of a gold with full size, and then in order to watch what gold did and whether it would fulfill all of its rules, I put a penny size trade on. And what that did then was enable me to monitor what was going on with my tiny trade. It hit the level and I was able to take the short on it. So I should really make a video relating to that, but I'm not really in video making mode at the moment. But anyway, I digress. So this will most likely, the BTC I'm talking about, look perfect and start banging off alerts when this has done what I expect it to do. It may well take off and it will still alert me. And this has to look perfect as well. BTC currently doesn't look perfect. A couple of other pairs, but I won't bother looking at them right now because I need to finish explaining this. So my point about the 3CR and this, when the 3CR is perfect, not just the close, but when the potential, when this breaks and closes, maybe an M15 will close above this, then we'll get a deeper pullback based on the M15 3CR. I haven't checked on M15 what this looks like, but we can look now actually. So you've got my point. This is pushing up to break a level of resistance here, which is this level here, which up to now has not been broken. You can put a level on there. And I'm talking about the open closes. Well, in fact, that's such a big level there. We can see that just by, oops, apologies for that. We can see that just by looking at that. I'll draw a blue one on there. What I'm looking at. Here, here, and here. And at that point, whoops, these levels, this whole area here, forget those two spikes there, here and here, and all these, this open and close on those two candles, had not been closed above until this candle does the business. So now we can move to M15. God, it's all kicking off on my phones here. I've multiple phones for multiple internet connections and various other things as well. So, and because I'm going abroad, I'm testing all sorts of stuff for phones and phone cards and apps and all that malarkey as well. So here we have this is the 3CR level that needs breaking. We can see that we've got Aaron's indicator there as well. It tells us that the dotted line, the high of that green candle is what this needs to close against. If you can hear that noise, that's the rain and wind. My office is in my conservatory, so it's a little noisy, but I love it. I prefer to be able to see all 360 degrees. So anyway, if this closes, this wick is a bit iffy. What I prefer to see is big candle with tiny wick on a 3CR. But if this closes above that level in 6 minutes, then I wouldn't be surprised if we get this potential pullback here, and then this will turn perfect on the BTC, and this will turn perfect. So that's my analysis, guys. Little bit of a divergence, but having said that, and I know I said that sometimes I jump the gun a little bit. This is a very dangerous potential reversal to the long side. It's divergent on low time frames only, really. It is in a downtrend. You know, we will go to, let's have a look at M30. Clearly, we've got a massive downtrend going on here on M30. We haven't really bashed into this demand rather, in any big way. We've tested it, which means, I could look at this in all sorts of ways, you know. And that guy ICT who told everyone trend lines don't work is a complete tosser. Excuse my French. Worst ever advice you can give new traders. So we can clearly see we've got a descending trend line. You can look at it on the line charts and tighten it up. I prefer line charts to wicks, of course. I've said that 100,000 times. Bit of an exaggeration there, but there, it's coming through, and even there. So it's no surprise to expect this to potentially come up and test that trend line, and then come back down and test this massive area of buyers before, deciding which way it'll go. And then we don't have to guess. We guess nothing in trading using my methods. It's all about analysis. So there's not much more I can say about that, really. I could write a book on it, but and notice, if you've got your trend lines drawn on something like the M30, they will be a mess on M15. But the most important thing to take away from that is that the M30, the higher time frame, overrides the lower time frames all and every time. Which is why I use the line chart so much. So, bit of a mess on the candles. They're all over the place, as you can see through that line chart descending trend line. This looks like it may just push up for a blast, because all the little influencers and everything will be saying buy BTC when it gets to that level. Everyone gets in. It's the wrong thing to do, and potentially it will crash again. I say it's the wrong thing to do because don't listen to influencers. That's all. Crypto coin influencers cost billions. I think someone mentioned 600 billions worth of damage. They all went pop and waited for years to come back, and they failed, and all the influencers disappeared. They should have been actually sent to jail, to be honest with you, but that's another serious story, pumpers and influencers. So anyway, this is my plan. That was my analysis. This is what I do, and these things keep me out of occasional good trades. But you know what? I'd rather take 10 perfect trades than 1,000 iffy trades. Simple as that. So if everything doesn't look right, I'm not interested. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.